So welcome to In the Wake TV. I'm Uzunma Udeh, and today we're diving into an incredible short film that will tug at your heartstrings. Our guests today are Adele Tiffith and Emily Sheskin, the brilliant mind and talent behind Livestream with Grandmapuzzles. Let's get right into it. I'm so thrilled that I could be here with you all today. Adele, I want to get to you first because in the beginning of the short, you say that you're one of nine. One of nine. That is a big family. So what number are you in the set?
I was the 8th born.
Okay. So the question I was going to ask is do you even remember your first puzzle?
I don't. I remember doing the puzzles and I end up finding it in a thrift store and doing it with my grandkids, but it was the one where it is the United States of America. And it's each state is in the shape. And I do remember that from when I was younger. I don't know what the first puzzle was, but I do remember that. And it was one from like the 1960s. So right around, it probably was new when I was doing it.
And so was you as a kid, one of nine, number 8 in the set, was puzzle doing sort of a come together moment, or was it a settling of the score amongst siblings?
It was more of a come together moment, even though we have always been and with my children and grandchildren too, that even though we're just all kind of together, just vibing and puzzling, it's always a little competitive. Like to where my granddaughter would even hide the last piece, right? I don't remember us doing that when I was younger. But yeah, it was more of a coming together. We did it with puzzles, board games, putting a blanket on the floor to shoot marbles. My mother was really big into those kind of things. So it was more of a coming together.
So you just mentioned your mom. I want to know, was she a big puzzler? Is it something where like she did puzzles in the womb while you were in the womb? So then that means that you came out doing puzzles like spicy food, or did she do it to get you guys out of her hair so that she can get things done?
Every time we were doing anything, it's like everything I've done in my life was almost just like my mom. Well, as far as that, but she was always right there in the mix. She was never like in another room or here's the marbles, here's the puzzles. She was always involved.
That's beautiful to have those very, very clear memories of just that bonding time with your parent. I feel like that is a big part of when you become a parent. Those are the things that you want to infuse into your relationship with your kids. And so speaking of sort of do your siblings still do puzzles, or are you the lone carrier of the tradition in your family?
Just found out maybe a year ago that they all knew that I was doing the puzzle stream, right? And so my niece, I think she's about 50 years old now, but she started puzzling after she saw the stream, and she bought puzzles and took them over to her mom. My 2 oldest sisters are twins, and they are usually together. And she took it over to their place and then would send me little clips of all of them puzzling together and them fighting over the last piece and them getting it in. It was like, no, we have to do it over so Dale could see it. Well, they all call me Dale. And then they would make the piece travel like you see in the videos to get the last piece in. And so my niece and my 2 older sisters are puzzling. And then my youngest sister, she started puzzling again. And she was telling me that she was going through some physical things. And so she went back to puzzling. She has a really busy life. And this was her way of slowing down. And I talked to her maybe about 2 weeks ago, and she came into the stream. I was live, and that's usually how I talk to my family. They stop by the stream, and she came in, and I was like, well, girl, are you still puzzling? She was like, I just bought a whole big bag. I got a whole bag right here to do. And so, yes, they have all started puzzling. They had stopped, but they are all puzzling again now because of my stream.
So it's catching. Puzzling is catching. It's a little contagious in the family. Yeah. I love that. So then also in the film, you mentioned that puzzling is a way to get secrets, to get to know your kids. What kind of secrets have you extorted from your kids, let's call it, while puzzling?
It has been, I have really good kids. Let me say that part. But I will say that with my adult children, that when I am puzzling, anytime the grandkids are there, the other kids are always there. We are when the grandkids come, it's like a time for everybody to get together, right? But so we're puzzling, and if I'm trying to catch up with the grandkids, because the grandkids are teenagers now,
Okay.
and I'm trying to catch up with what's going on at school, how things are going with the sports. Do they have any boyfriends or girlfriends? And it's just like we just piecing the puzzle together, and it just seems so random, but it's things I really want to know.
Mhm.
But I also found out that my oldest son is the only one who has kids, so he brings the grandkids there, and so all four of the kids are there. And but I start finding out things that they lied to me about when they were younger. I was always known as being the strict parent. Soon as your kids get 18, they're gonna leave you, and all it because I was so strict, and I thought I was really on top of it. And sometimes I was like, I knew you did that. When I came home, I saw this was moved over here, so I knew you did that. And the time you took the 7-Up and the donut out the refrigerator, it's like things like that. But it
Yeah.
was some other really sneaky stuff. My oldest son was the wildest of
Okay.
all of my children, but he had done some things, and I found out while we are all there puzzling, and they start this conversation that he had been sneaking out of the house. He had a whole girlfriend, and my daughter would make him, you have to be home. Mama's going to be here at this time, right? And so I found this out just maybe about 2 years ago about a lot of these little events.
So what I'm hearing is that the police should employ puzzles as a way to get information from potential defendants. I'm hearing that this is something that should be used in
A
law
perfect
enforcement.
interrogation tool.
Perfect. So Emily, so let's get into you and sort of, I want to understand how you went from filmmaking, making incredible film like Jahzilla to finding Adele. I've seen Jahzilla, and you have this amazing knack for taking this like off the beaten path subject matter and really telling these stories with such tenderness and respect. How did you find Adele? Like, how did you even come together to make this film?
Well, thank you for that. That means a lot. And after Jahzilla, as you know, Jocelyn, she was a young woman who I care about a lot. And that film follows her dream of trying to go to the Olympics for boxing, and she gets a cancer diagnosis, which redefines what it means to fight. And obviously it was really tough. It was just as the reason we made the film. It is her spirit that I did my best to try to preserve in that. But we wouldn't have made it if it wasn't for her saying that she wanted to make the film and inspire others. And as you can imagine, I didn't set out to make a film that was as serious or had as serious topics. And so when we were finished with that film, I really wanted to find something joyful. I wanted to find someone who in some ways embodied everything Jess talked about: living life to the fullest, inspiring others, giving to a community and being part of a community. And I found the puzzle community where Mike Schultz, who is also a filmmaker, his partner Val she's part of the USA Jigsaw Puzzle Association. And Mike told me, he's like, there's this amazing lady. I think she's a grandmother. I think she's a Twitch streamer. He's like, you got to get Val to connect you with her. And I was like, absolutely, this sounds great. And before we had like our official introduction, I had watched some of her streams on Twitch. And I mean, everybody who is in her community will say this, like, you fall in love with Adele the second you watch her. She's so vibrant. She's so charismatic. She's so funny. She's so kind. And she's incredible, I think, at making people feel seen in a way and making a safe space for them to come and be themselves. And she celebrates that. And so to be able, I like to say that my goal in my career is to sort of give a megaphone to people who do these like really wonderful things. And so for me, it was like a no-brainer. It was just, did she want to do it? So that was really the question.
And then, okay, as insane as it sounds, being pirated on TikTok is, while it's not good, and I would never advocate for that way of viewing content, it is kind of a cosign from the youth. So how do you feel that your work is sort of worth theft in a way? How do you feel that you're at that level?
Oh, I'm honored. I was like, I made it. The film that I saw pirated was also one that I made, I want to say in 2012, and it's on a gentleman, Damon C. Scott, who's also lovely. He is a busker, and he made he's the voice of a hit song in the UK. And so he talks in our film about that process of like, in America and even in the UK, because people didn't know his face, like they were just sort of whatever. And then he would start to sing and people would be like, it's the guy from that song. And I guess it must have been the anniversary of that hit song. And so somebody like found it and pirated it. And I was just like on TikTok. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, hey, I made that. That's amazing. So like, I know I should say it's bad and it is bad, but at the same time, like I just want, again, I want to tell stories that inspire people, that make people feel good and that are worth sharing. So I was very happy to see it.
And you definitely did that. Were there any nerves about introducing this film to the public, or did you know that this was going to be embraced with open arms?
For Adele's film, I was very confident that it was going to be, it was just going to be an easy sort of film. I mean, what I love about her film is, and what's so wonderful about Adele is that she's vulnerable. She's open about the struggles that she's had. She speaks about them freely. Again, she makes it safe for people to say, I've had struggles, I've had problems, but she's also there, again, creating a solution, creating a safe space, creating a place for people to come together and creating community in a way that's really hard to do. Like, she is the first to talk about her community and to give them credit. But like, she deserves so much credit to create a place where people come again and again and again. And so again, like I knew that people would respond to it. I love seeing the enthusiasm. I was at Big Sky, and at that film festival, a lot of the people who end up seeing your film are other filmmakers. And so I would go to like a filmmaker party and they'd be like, oh, what film are you here with? And I would say, oh, I made like the Puzzling Grandma. And they'd, oh my gosh, I love her. I saw that we have on our letterbox, someone was like, I literally just downloaded Twitch to watch her stream. And like, that is the highest compliment. That's the best review I could get.
No, that's amazing. So right now we're going to take a little break and then we will get into the twitch of it all and sort of what's next for this project. Okay. All right. Going to take a little break. We need a little sip of water. This would be a time. Okay. And we're back. I am Uzunma here with Adele Tiffith and Emily Sheskin, the brilliant talent and mind behind Live Streams with Grandmapuzzles. And we still have so much to cover, so I don't want to waste any time. Let's get back to you, Adele. Let's talk about how long have you been on Twitch? Oh, are you muted? Oh, there we go.
When you said drink water, I automatically mute myself because I never swallow on television on the stream.
Okay, so
it's just automatic. And the other thing that's automatic is I never come back. I never unmute myself from drinking. And so we have created an alert, and it's called the titty mute, right? And I don't know if it's something we could say or not, but it would usually be, that's a whole nother thing. Yeah. So, okay. So what was the question?
Yeah, of course. So Adele, how long have you been on Twitch?
I started streaming on my birthday, January 8th, 2021. The kids created the account about 10 months prior to that. And I was watching my son game on there. And then I got to meet a lot of people from them doing what they call raids and visiting all of these other communities. And so I became familiar with a lot of other categories and things like that. And I met all of these people, and they pushed me to stream. So the very first stream was on my birthday, January 28th, 2020. So we just celebrated 4 years.
I need you to understand how amazing it is in 4 years to go from never being on Twitch to, during the shooting of the film, 16,000 followers to now over 25,000 people are following you on Twitch. Like, I need you to understand how incredible it is to organically grow an audience like that. And that is just amazing. Like Twitch is not really a place you think of when you're thinking of building a community, at least not for me. So, you know, how does it feel to sort of know that at this point in your life, you've created a brand new community and it's continuing to grow?
It's so amazing. Like I tell them, and I just said it on the stream last night that ended like about 6 or 7 o'clock this morning before I laid down, that every time right before I press start streaming, I still get this little feeling and that I describe as like when there's this guy that you like, right? And you're gonna go on the first date, and you know the sound of his car, and you hear the car pulling up, and you're looking out the blinds and you see it's him, and your heart is beating so fast, right? But you're so excited, but there's that little bit of anxiety. You're really nervous, but you're so happy about it, right? That you snagged the one. And I get that feeling still, even as I went live last night. I still get that feeling. And every time someone comes into the stream and they follow me, I never see it as a big number. Like it's over 20, it's almost 25,200. And we just hit the 25,000 goal. But I see it as 25,000 individuals. It's never this big number. Yes, it has grown to over 25,000, but I just remember every single person that followed, and it's just like I'm here, and it's just 25,000 people around me, and that's how I see it. And I was like, it's incredible that they find me interesting, right? And that last night I went live, and for the first couple of minutes, only one person was in the stream. I was like, is it happening? Because when you first start streaming, you always wonder if somebody is going to show up or not. And it took a few minutes, and then everybody just started rolling in back to back. I was like, did I do something? Did I say something? Because I talk a lot. I was like, do they not like me? Have I been gone too long? It's like when you are a streamer and you have to be away for any period of time, you can lose your audience that way. You can be a really big streamer and come back. I've seen it. People have 1,000 people regularly in their stream, and they have to go away for a period of time and come back, and you can't even draw 50 people. It just never goes back up. And it's just that no matter what happens, no matter how much time I have to take away for whatever reason, that I go live and they keep showing up. And I was like, I'll say any kind of crazy thing, any off the wall thing. And I was like, you guys just let me say anything. And not just that, you still keep coming back every time I go live. Like, this is just amazing to me. It is just so incredible. I just still can't believe it. I asked my kids, I was like, am I somebody? I just asked my son yesterday. I was like, am I somebody? Because I'm seeing all of these things people are saying about me. I was like, this me. They're talking about me. Like it's just still so hard to believe. And I'm just here just being myself. And people just they are drawn to that. And it's just all so incredible.
I feel that the question I was going to ask is, do you still have the joy for it, or is it something that's sort of waned? And I feel that the answer is you still have butterflies every time you do it. And that is so beautiful.
Every single time. And I talked about this maybe about a week ago, that if it ever got to a point to where I was dreading, like I'm just sitting here and I'm dreading clicking the go live button, then I just think I wouldn't be able to do it, because it just can't be that I'm doing it as a job, right? Streaming just can't be my career. It just has to be the place that I go to and I receive comfort, right? It's where I go. I have an emote that says I love company, and it's my favorite emote of all of Twitch, because that's really what it's about. I go there and I'm looking for people to come in just to keep me company. I don't have people come over to my house. I never ever leave the house. And so this is when they say IRL, this is IRL to me. When I go live, this is really inviting people into my living room, right? And we're going to sit here. I'm just going to puzzle. Puzzling is the backdrop, but we're going to talk about things in your life, in your kids' life. I'm going to tell you some stories. And guess what happened? They didn't even call me back. And you know what? Emily got us an interview, y'all. Can you believe it? And I'm just so excited. Just every step of the way, all of these things that are happening. And that I just couldn't do it. It's just what my heart receives. It's how my soul feels when I go live, right? And I can't do it without that feeling. It could never be for money.
Amazing. So, Emily, have you had the opportunity to solve any puzzles with Adele?
I haven't, but a fun little story is when we filmed the short, we filmed it in LA, and it was when there was a hurricane. It was in that 2023
Yes,
kind of
yes,
like, yeah.
yes.
And so, obviously, like we had a limited amount of time with Adele, and we know she's fast, but no one is so fast that they could do like 1,000-piece puzzles like again and again. So we were getting some of them kind of like ready or to like a 75% point, so that she could then complete it on camera. So technically we have puzzled together, and you witness it in the film, but we haven't done, like, she has Kyle, who we've talked to, who's I think the fastest male puzzler in the US. Like, she and Kyle will like puzzle together on a stream, or she'll have people come on and puzzle, and we haven't done that. But I'm also not quick like she is, like not just speed wise, and also like she's so funny. Like, how am I supposed to keep up on a stream? I would be so boring.
Like, I can think as fast as she's doing these puzzles. Like, my brain just is like, wait, I'm doing a puzzle and you're already done with the puzzle. So I feel like that is skill and a talent all in of itself. And so at the end of it, you mentioned wanting to create, the first all Black speed puzzle team. Where are we with that? Have we gotten the team together? What's going on?
The people who are willing to be on the team aren't the people that I'm looking for. The team, because I don't want it to be a token team. I want it to be, if we're going to do it, I want to be a really competitive top 10 team. Right. So while there are those in the community that, Gma, I'll do it if you can't find nobody else. And that would have to really be the case. And they know this because I've told them this, right? Because they aren't fast. But I don't want to walk into a nationals or go to worlds and you just see this all Black team that's just, we're at the back table all the time. And yes, maybe they may have some of the focus on us because we are, but that's not what I'm looking for.
Right.
I talked to a few people, but they are, it's very few Black people in this community, just period. And so when I approach somebody, it's kind of awkward saying, hey, they just want to be on a fast team. They're not looking to be on a Black team, right?
Right.
And so it's kind of a hard sell, and it's kind of conflicting. It's like when I went to nationals and they were interviewing me, I had all of this hair and I hid the back of my shirt because on the back it said Black Twitch, and I never wanted to be known as Black Twitch. I'm just a part of Twitch, right?
Right.
And so for me to view things in that way and to want to have an all Black team, and I think it's not so much as an all Black as when I was thinking of having an all Black team, I'm thinking of showing people that there are Black people here that are puzzling and you can do it too. So maybe some Black children, we see other children doing it, right? So maybe some Black children are high schoolers or college students, some people from a HBCU or get a club or something together and see, hey, Black people do this, right? And I always say, just like tennis or golf, you have a Tiger Woods, Serena and Venus, and now we have a Coco Golf and a Taylor Townsend, but it's like nobody even thinks to do these things like that's a them kind of thing, right? And so it's more so it's just having us represented to bring other folks into the fold.
I think what you said is it sounds like this team is a work in progress, but I feel that this film is a great first step in finding those people who are already doing it on their own and recognizing that there is team. Because I personally did not know that there were puzzling tournaments. That was news to me, that there is like a room of people who are doing these puzzles so for me, I'm learning about it. And so hopefully with this film, this is a great way and a great first or second or third step into finding those people who have the talent and also are looking for a space in a community where they can feel seen and heard. And so just thinking about the future, what you're looking at, are we smelling a feature-length film adaptation, Emily? Are we going in that direction?
I would love that. I mean, that would be the goal. At the same time, as you know, it's really hard to make a feature. It costs a lot of money. And I have been hoping that if the short can have some success and it can give people a taste, we can do something larger. My vision for the larger piece is in some ways more about the mental health component. Right. Adele has been very transparent about her own struggle with depression and loneliness, and how this Twitch community really, as she says, I think, pulled her out of that chair by herself doing puzzles and put her front and center, which is a beautiful thing. And I think it would be really wonderful to use, every film is never about the thing it's about if it's a good film. I made a boxing film. It's not really about boxing. I would love to make a puzzle film that lets people talk about their mental health in a meaningful way and create space for people to share those stories and feel comfortable talking about it, because there is still a stigma, especially in this country and depending on what community you're in.
I think that puzzling, the beauty of what you've done with puzzling is really showcase the fact that it is such a community-based activity. And the more we sort of create that narrative that community and puzzling are hand in hand, I think that this is another way for people to sort of get off the screens, get off the phone, even though the Twitch is a screen, but you're doing something tactile in real life. And I think that if we can introduce more ways for people to do some more tactile things, it will actually be a great way to create those third spaces that I feel are a bit missing these days. So Adele, please tell us where people can find you if they are puzzlers looking for a speed team to join. Tell us where people can find you and see more of what you do.
Just love puzzles everywhere. I just love puzzles on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Twitch TV/I just love puzzles. And I always share with folks that if I'm not live on stream, that I am probably asleep or on the road with Emily somewhere. But outside of that, this is truly it. This is truly my life. If you're looking for me, just turn on your notifications. Follow me on Twitch, turn on your notifications, and that's where you'll find me.
Amazing. And Emily, please tell us where else, like I know that this film has already been California, North Dakota, it's kind of seen the world. Where else can we see this film and see more stuff that you're going to be a part of?
Yeah, so first you can follow us on @PuzzlePeopleDoc on Instagram, and I'm posting every single film festival we get into, and there's been a lot, which has been great, and there's more coming that I'm not allowed to say, but amazing. I'm leaving for Cleveland. We're at Aspen Shorts Fest. We're at River Run, which is in North Carolina. We are in San Francisco Film Festival. I am missing one, but all of the information is on our Instagram, so people can find it there, and hopefully it will be at a city near you. And if you want us to play at a city near you, Minneapolis, St. Paul too is another one we'll be at. I run the Instagram. I may be a little slow at it, but comment, say, hey, have you thought about applying here? Or my town has a film festival. We would absolutely love to get this as many places as we can.
And I think it should be in as many places as it can be. I think this is a film that needs to go everywhere and everyone needs to see it. So I highly advocate for that. I just want to thank you both for your time. Thank you so much for sharing your story, Adele. And thank you so much, Emily, for creating this beautiful piece. I was so happy to have watched it and even have the opportunity to chat with you all online. But thank you all so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. And that's it. I've been Uzunma Udeh with In the Wake TV, and I'm signing off.
Download the app, come take the ride. Turn your TV on, let the